世界に伝えときな。平和を愛するつまらねえ庶民ども、海兵、世界政府、そして海賊どもよ。悪夢でも見てるのか。この世界の未来は決まった。ぜはははは。そう、ここから先は俺の時代だ。
Welcome to another video. This time we'll be trying out the new Teach that's like almost out. So we do get to try like a light Teach version. In this video I'll be trying two builds. The first one on screen is like Teach Blackbeard Pirates combined with Yellow Slob combination, because the leader is Warlords, so it can run Boar, and we also run the Borsalino here, so we do get to heal a lot, and then occasionally we can also play Teach out, or like heal with Shiryu as well. Similar to Upstar's build if you've seen the video, but I wanted to have a little bit more consistency. Also I thought like maybe having more 4 costs would be nice. The 4 cost Shiryu can be quite strong in some matchups, like against the new Luffy, or like the new Buggy popping the Crocodile, or like popping one of the Ivankovs. Can be quite strong, so we'll see how good that card is. This is the second build that I'll be trying out. It is like more Teach Pirates or like oriented. It runs more search events, it runs the 4 cost, it runs the stage, it runs 5 cost Kuzan, so it's like play old Teach without denying on plays, but we do get to heal and burn life. So we'll see how that works. There could be 6 cost Kuzan in this as well, which might even be better than 5 cost Kuzan, because 5 cost Kuzan is only like good exactly on 5 done, and then afterwards it becomes a bit awkward, because yeah, Shiryu, the 6 drop, oftentimes will probably just be like a better body to establish, because it also heals. It's an 8k, and like Burgess will be probably like an 8 or 9k at that point too. And if we ran 6 cost Kuzan instead, we could play 6 cost Kuzan, maybe like get a free block, or like block 2k, absorb and swing, and then redirect into it to play Burgess, which kind of absorbs 2 swings and then plays out the body, which can be quite strong. So we'll see, but like this deck isn't complete anyways, so we're just having some fun here. And let's get into the video. So we're up against Sengoku, the new Imu of the set, I would say. Not in terms of strength, but at some point suddenly a bunch of characters appear. But Sengoku might be strong, we'll see. Of course, not all of this support for all of the leaders have been revealed, so we are quite early here. But it is fun to just sometimes look at new stuff when you get bored of the old stuff. They play Kobe and Tsuru, which is fine. Finds Sengoku and Sakazuki. Tsuru is like an okay search. It's a 2k, which is nice for the deck, but when you have to use it to search, it's not so nice. So maybe you should have waited a bit, because with Tsuru you have to discard a card, so you still go -1 in hand even though you searched. You also get to search a bit. Double 1-drop is annoying, because we cannot like defend the Lafitte by just like redirecting the swing. Then this 9k swing I could take. But I could also use it to use leader ability here. Just to cycle a card. You still have to kind of get used to when using Teach ability is efficient or not. When it's not. Because like in this case I could have just taken the life, because like Van Auger I didn't really get much value from. I mean, I did counter the swing by like cycling basically, but I still lost the card because I played out the Auger. I technically got to defend the 9k swing with 1 card and got to cycle a card, so it's okay. I don't want to have too many leader ability targets on board at the same time, because like if I keep stacking them up, then eventually like I cannot resolve them all. Opponent plays Kid, which is an interesting choice. Of course you will get your Don back for leader ability this way. But in Enel meta, it might be a bit of a slow card, because if I was Enel, then this card would be gone now. I'm starting to stack up life here in cost of hand size, which I think is fine. Because like I have 5 life now when my opponent plays out his big bodies. So I can kind of tank some hits from them. Because next turn there's like 5 swings coming. You do kind of want to build up some health in this matchup, I think. There might be like an argument where you kind of can maybe starve Sengoku, because like if they don't find all 3 at like exactly this point, And of course their leader just kind of, I wouldn't say falls apart, but it's definitely much worse. But if they still find their stuff and you like let them resolve their ability on 5 life, then it would also be unfortunate. Maybe you can then just trade off their board and try to win that way, but like with Sakazuki, the board fight isn't necessarily what you want to be doing, I think. So we'll see what will be the best way to counter Sengoku. But yeah, playing this many cards from hand, of course, reduces hand size quite a lot. Opponent now has less cards than we did. Of course, not after taking life and drawing for turn. But we have 4 cards in hand, 4 cards on board, and 5 life. So we are definitely up in like card advantage. The opponent gets to reduce the Boa. I wonder if Navy Reiju is a thing. Because all of these cards, at least the Sakazuki, maybe not all of them, but the Sakazuki is definitely a card that I would want to look at. We can all be lucky that it costs 7. If this card was like a 6 cost, then yeah, Ine. Ine would make great use of that card. But Reiju can play it. So maybe we can just play Sakazuki and Mamaragan. And be Ine. But yeah, I mean, this game so far, nothing interesting happened. We of course just healed on curve. Got a Burgess, which is nice. In this spot, like the Docu, I can't use it. Like I can't pop a 1 cost of my opponent, but I could like use it to cycle. This one I can redirect into the Auger, so I can stop the kid from swinging. And then my opponent restands the Borsalino and passes turn. My opponent could be playing slow beam. There might also be like a world where my opponent plays, what's it called, the Don Quixote Pirate Ramp event, because you do reduce some Don, so getting them back would be quite nice. The search here, I mean, just the 2k is good enough. We have quite a big board now. But we didn't find the 10 cost, which is like kind of the reason stage is like a thing that could be good. Because if you want to chain 10 drops or like find one, then like having stage of course is nice, getting the free search, just like old Teach. But yeah, in this list, there is no stage. Just pressure 7s. Because we cannot die, I think. I'm pretty sure we can't. Because we can redirect, we can become 7k leader. So just pressure. This Boa can swing 5, which I'll do. Of course, this is kind of just a free block, so I could have just went 8-8 and probably achieved the same. Or 7-9, I guess, but 7 he could block 2k. And then 5-8 could 1k take. But it would all end up being the same thing. Yeah, scary board looking at us, but we still have 4 cards, 3 life. We can redirect 7k leader, so we're probably not that. Opponent is kind of on the clock here because he has 2 cards and then 1 life. I don't really have a good trigger card that I want to use. Now I do. Because like pitching a 2k here to redirect, not nice. Now I can redirect using the 1k. Opponent has 5 swings, we can redirect 1. And then we have to counter out of 2 more. Yeah, because then after redirecting 4 swings, 2 life, so we have to guard out of 2 swings. I mean, drawing all the teachers now, not that helpful. It's gonna be 9. Check and counter. I do have 2 2Ks, so if my opponent goes 9, 9, 9, it could go 10, 10, 10. I can guard 10, I can guard 9. I could take it because my opponent can do 10, 11, so I can guard out of 10. Because if I counter this one, my opponent might just turn into board, and then maybe I cannot kill. So this one I can take. We get a draw 2 trigger, which I mean it didn't change a lot because we drew 2 bricks. But getting 2 draw 2s is kind of crazy. We would have won regardless, but Yeah, now this 10 we can counter, and we kind of have to, otherwise we die if there's a brick in our life. Opponent uses the Borsalino ability, I think, to get an active done. So yeah, if my opponent went 11-11 here, which he could have, because I kind of forgot about it, he might have had it. So I probably should have got it out of the Kuzan swing. Okay, there was a 2k in life, so we would have lived regardless. I mean, here I can use the trigger because the card replaces itself, and then I just play out Augur. Just having an extra body on board, not bad. It's not like my opponent can somehow survive this, but this Augur can swing technically if I really want to. Not that it will need to, because I have more than enough swings. Start with the boa swing in case it's slow beam. Opponent takes. I go 9. Just math here. Opponent either blocks this and then I can go like 5 and 14. Yeah, if my opponent would have countered it, then I could have split. And just kind of, because we can, we finish off with the Lafitte. Interesting first game. I think it was quite correct to just stay very healthy. Because if I dropped to like 2 life and my opponent had this kind of board, then it would have been hard. I think I would have had to pitch a lot more cards than I did trying to stay healthy. So it worked out. And we can go to the next one. Playing the mirror with our boar list. We are going second and we do have a pretty good curve here. We do have Lafitte, we have Burgess, we have Boa. Debatable if you want to play Burgess next time. We can also just try to Lafitte and then maybe lock him down. Because yeah, my opponent only plays a 1 drop and the 1 drop is a 0 power character. So if that 1 drop wants to trade into the Lafitte, it needs it on. We do already have a search event, so we probably don't need to take that one. We could take the Docu, which, yeah, in hindsight, I'd probably take the Docu here already, because ideally I get to play the Docu down, redirect my, like his swing into my Docu and blow up his Docu in case his leader swing. Yeah, I find the Docu, so then I get to play it. I don't swing, because his Docu could blow up my Lafitte, which I don't want him to do. Because now he can't. Because now my Lafitte is a 2 cost. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't say base power on the card. Drop the Burgess to redirect into Docu. Then my Docu kills his Docu. So my Lafitte gets the search again, which is nice. Debatable if I should have pitched the Burgess here. Because I could have also pitched the Wolf and played the Burgess. But playing on Wolf is fine as well. I don't think it's worth to take another Lafitte here. I could just take like Lafitte here, play Lafitte again, search. I do take the Lafitte instead of the 2k Devon. I don't think it's worth playing it. I think I play Wolf here. San Juan Wolf. Because I could go 7 and play like Lafitte. Or if I'm crazy, search Lafitte, maybe find another Lafitte and then put 3 Lafittes and redirect one of his swings to my leader. So I just draw infinite cards. I don't think that's correct. I do it though, which is that better than putting down Wolf on board? That is the question. So now I can put Docu and Lilith. Or like start Lilith, maybe take Van Ogre, play Van Ogre. Yeah, almost whiffed. I played Docu. I think I should have put Van Ogre. Like Docu is probably not gonna do much. And it's a 2k. And Van Ogre isn't. And then here I could redirect into my leader, which gets me like an extra search, which I'll do. I get to trigger out the Burgess. Pitch a Wolf. And then I can heal. Put the Wolf into life. Yeah, now Lafitte dies. But like I have 7 done next turn, so I feel like it's worth to do it. Because I can search again. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm tripping. But this Lafitte will like tank a swing again. And now there's a 10 cost, so I'll take a 10 cost. So I can go 5-5 and then play Shiryu. I was like debating if there's a world where I maybe just hit into Burgess and if he lets it go I just pass because next turn I can burn away the Shiryu with my Boa. But like if he takes... Okay, redirects. With just 1k. I think I put Shiryu on top, yeah. It's My opponent only has 8 dons, so no boar. Opponent is on the stage build, so likely will get more tank costs than we do. We have to kind of find a way to win this game some other way. The mirror might be one of the reasons you might want to have the stage build, because yeah, I mean tank costs are strong, especially if you get to tank cost on your opponent's tank cost. Especially like next turn I'll play boar, burn alive, but then if he plays a tank cost on my boar's just done, so it doesn't really do a lot. I get to redirect onto my dog queue, just cycle a card. Opponent plays Kuzan, which is kind of an annoying card. Because now I can only do 5-5. My opponent gets to free block one of the 5s, and then if he really wants to, gets to redirect my 8 into the Kuzan. Which could play out like 5 cost Kuzan if he plays it. Or just Burgess directly. 5 cost Kuzan of course would be better, because then you get to swing 5 and draw a card. This way he gets to pressure a bit earlier. And yeah, now like the tank cost here is kind of strong, because yeah, of course my boar won't attack, but also I don't have a leader ability anymore. So I can't redirect one of the 8k swings into the Burgess. Opponent goes for the board now, which makes sense. I gave him like a lot of cards, but if I take one of the 5s, then I'll just go down too low in hand size. So I'll do the same thing. I'm ahead on life and I have a boar in my hand, so that could be useful. Now I get to do 5k. My opponent can't block. My opponent has to give me cards. Go 5-5, get 2 cards. 8 probably gets alive. I don't think it's worth it for me to try to go for his boards. Like if he gives me 5-5, yeah, I could swing 8 on 8, but I don't think that's necessarily good. I think I'll just abuse my advantage here and go face. Okay. Goes 7k leader, but just simply cycles away the card. Which all of the triggers can do, which is nice, because it's like kind of consistency. If you draw into something that you don't care about, you just get to cycle it away. Now opponent gets to kill my Shiryu, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. I have to counter this, because I don't want to take too many things. Kind of forgot about the Burgess swing. Take this, of course. Now I can do the same thing, just cycle it away. 7k leader is whatever, but this way I can just cycle. Yep, exactly what happens. And then I don't have a tank cost here, which is like unfortunate. Because I couldn't redirect to the Burgess, so I couldn't put him to 0. But even if I could, like I would have to, yeah, connect a bunch of things that I can't. Like I would have Lilith, Boar, and my leader on 2 blocker. And his leader ability, so I can't even connect 3 swings. I could play Boss on Shiryu, or Shiryu and Shiryu, or just like 7-7-9, like 7-7-10 Shiryu. I think it's 5-5. And both Shiryus. Just so I establish a board. Because if he's low on hand size, I just need a lot of swings. Gives me both 5ks, which it doesn't really make sense. He could have blocked one of the 5s and blocked the boar. Yeah, discard the boar here because I don't want to give up counter. I put Wolf on top, which probably doesn't really matter because like being 7k leader against this board's not as useful. And then here, like I should probably just insta redirect to the Burgess to put him to 0 because he has 5 swings left. I have 2 blocker and 3 lives, so technically he can't kill me. Unless he like pops the Shiryu or something, or like the Teach, like with Black Hole. But I take and go to 7. Because I didn't want to pitch a 2k on the Burgess. But I definitely should have, because then if I put him to 0, next turn I might be able to just go for game. Or force my opponent to go for game this turn. My opponent uses stage, which he obviously should have done before. Now gets to negate my new gate. Because the 7k is not from the Teach leader, so that doesn't get negated. I get the counter. Swings the Burgess, which I can take because I could play double Borsalino. I used the Lilith trigger to grab a 2k. Then my opponent just passes. Now it's kind of looking like old Teach mirror where it's like just tank cost and tank cost and tank cost. But only on my opponent's side because I don't play stage. Opponent has 2 cards in hand but 3 blocker and a life. So I would have to connect 5 swings plus leader ability. So it's 6 swings and I only have 5 swings. So I can't go for game here. So technically my opponent could just block out of all of these swings. If he really wants to. Like if I had my Burgess pop, then I guess it doesn't necessarily make a difference because I have one more swing this way. Like if I have a Burgess on board, I have more swings. And if I don't have a Burgess on board, I have like one less swing. My opponent has one less life. So, I mean, I couldn't have gone for game without a Burgess here anyways. Like if he has one less life, I have one less swing. Same thing. So it actually doesn't make a difference. And then like I could swing the Shiryu still. Opponent could redirect. Like it's a card out of hand. It's a weird situation that I'm in. And then here I play over the Shiryu. Now I have 4 blocker and 3 life. This one's a quite easy take. Yeah, given my opponent plays stage, there might be a world where my opponent has a 4th tank cost. That's Van Auger. Opponent thinks 8, I take. Opponent thinks 11. Can take this one too. I'll resolve the draw. Draw a brick and 1k, so for less counter. Opponent actually gets to play the tank cost. Player swings a 5k. Which I can free block because if he swings the Teach, then it's the same thing as me having extra swing. Now I top deck my own Teach. So opponent has 1 card, 4 block and a life. So I need 6 swings to connect plus leader ability. So that doesn't work. I don't have 7 swings on my board. Yeah, I do 5. My opponent could probably just block because like my swings aren't that threatening. My opponent takes. Which honestly doesn't really make sense. I think my opponent just blocks, I think. Because my opponent, if he blocks here, I probably can't close out the game next turn. Now, I can put him into a weird spot where I just... This doesn't make sense. Like, literally everything I do is just block, 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 block. I have 4 swings, my opponent has 4 blockers, so... Arresting one of the blockers here doesn't really make sense. Which means I should have used one of them last turn. I mean, this is quite obvious, it's just a block. Not really something my opponent could fuck up. So I play over the boar, negate leader, negate one of the teachers and just pass. So now I have 5 blocker. Now my opponent cannot win. Because my opponent is at 0 here, so if my opponent taps all the blocker, I win. One goes 12, which is almost maximum of what he can swing. There's one more 12 and then he could make it... Well, there's 2 more 12s and then he could make it 13, 13. But just take. So opponent makes it 14, but since my opponent only has 3 more swings if he really wants to rest all the teachers, he can just block and 2k 1k, because yeah, if he like swings 12, 12, 12, I block, 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 and then I have a quite easy lethal on board. Could even block, block, redirect, and counter. So I would even keep 1 extra body. And now I have 6 swings to 4 blocker and the lead ability. So now I can actually go for game. It's a bunch of 8s and then 12, 12. But I have too many swings, so my opponent kinda just holds here. My opponent redirects. If my opponent has 2k 2k, that would be my opponent's out. I do know that my opponent has Auger in hand and he just pitched a 2k, which it doesn't really make sense. So yeah, we have 1k, 1k, and then my opponent realizes that that doesn't work. Your opponent didn't have enough counter, could have only guarded like... Yeah, 8, 8, 8, 8 only like works if he has 2k, 2k and the card to redirect. But my opponent only had 2k, 1k, 1k. So 1k short of surviving. It was a stressful game. But yeah, hopefully mirrors get a bit more interesting in the future. So now we are on the more Blackbeard package oriented decklist. And it doesn't look great on our starting hand. We literally just have to pass here. Like Burgess next turn is okay, Shiryu on 6 is fine. Like Curve seems okay. But like running stage in this, of course, we would like to cycle. We would also like to maybe see like focused Burgess. It's like we could play out focused Burgess and then just loop 3-cost Burgess of life. Which would work quite well. But yeah, I mean this one we take, of course. Find stage, which is nice because we don't have a 4-cost anyway. So this time we get to play stage and play the 3-cost Burgess. Recycle away the Kuzan, take a new Kuzan. Probably could have just like cycled the 10-cost Teach away because I don't really need that right now. We're probably not getting to resolve more than one anyways, if any. Because like as soon as there's 2 Kuzans on board, I can only stun one of them. So then my blocker wouldn't even be a blocker. And by the time like I need a 10-cost, I probably cycled back into it, and like Kuzan on 8 could be strong. So if I don't find the Kuzan by 8, which is closer to 10 of course, then yeah, I probably wouldn't have that nice of a play unless I find Shiryu. But we did find Kuzan anyway, so it doesn't matter. We never got punished. Wasn't sure if there's like any because they could play, so I just countered the 6. I didn't want to give 2 cards that turn. Go 5-5. My opponent's really heavy on the 2s, which of course does reduce hand size, but you do want to find your pieces on curve, like your ramp and your 3 admirals. Okay, I get to heal. I discard the Burgess, put Burgess in life, and then now I have Burgess on board, Burgess in life, so a lot of life burning is possible. Opponent plays Mamaragan, which is interesting. It's like you only really have... No, maybe not actually. I was about to say you only really have like one small time frame where you can use it. But like after resolving lead ability, you might be able to just use it. Opponent was on 7 done, so I had to play Kuzan, which is... I mean, bad for him that he's on 7. Bad for me that there's a Kuzan on board. So that means that as soon as my opponent will use the lead ability, there's a second Kuzan. So my Teach will not be that useful. I get to pop the Kuzan here, swing 7 and then do whatever I want. There's an argument to just cycle first and see if I find 6-cost Shiryu, but I kind of wanted to resolve this Kuzan. It's like, the way I play this right now, I just really want to get my opponent to 0. Because that's kind of what you can do with this deck. We wouldn't have found the Shiryu so far anyways. There's Shiryu here? No, there's not. So we wouldn't have found the Shiryu anyways. I think this play is better still than Shiryu. Okay, now my opponent gets to resolve lead ability. Which is nice for them, not for me, because yeah, there's a lot of board looking at me now. My opponent's on 1 life with not as many cards in hand though, so we can burn the last life and then maybe find an all-in angle at some point. Our board isn't looking too like threatening right now though. But yeah, there's no way I can defend this. I was like debating if I just give a 1k here and then like maybe redirect one of the swings and then like he has to swing at it again. That way I would stay at 3 life. There might be a world where it was better to do. But I don't mind like redirecting into Burgess here and then actually like playing out the Burgess from life as well. Because I then keep an extra body on board. pitched the 2k, which is like a bit greedy, but I kind of want to keep the black hole in hand, Liberation, or whatever the actual name is. Because I know like card name is a bit different, but I think it's updated in Sim now, because it was called Liberation for a while. I think now black hole is actually what it says on the card. So now it's like debatable if I actually want to trigger it out, because it does cost me quite a lot of hand size. I choose not to. Mainly because it's a trigger. So like I wanna play Teach. And playing Teach means that like if I want to redirect somewhere, the only card that's in my hand is the Doku. Although I just pitched it away, so maybe me playing had a different idea here. It was definitely the worst card in my hand, technically, but I think since it's a redirect target, I think pitching away 4-cost Burgess would have made more sense. Because now I would have to use the 2k for lead ability. Of course, opponent gets to block. I can't negate the blocker with my Teach, so like I couldn't do that first in swing. Because like already applied effects, you cannot negate them. You couldn't black hole Borsalino either. Couldn't ground def it if you reduced it. Maybe something that's interesting to know. But yeah, that means my opponent right now has a chopper blocker and the Borsalino blocker that's like that could be live, but I now negated the blocker because like there's two Kuzans, so like negating Kuzan doesn't do anything. Opponent plays over the Borsalino because he couldn't make it a blocker anyways, but has Law and Beppo now, so there's Law and Beppo, not Law and Beppo, Rose and Law. Almost the same card, so he has double blocker still. But I do have two bodies on board. But yeah, this game didn't quite go the way we would want it to. We didn't establish like a Burgess along the way. We did get to burn a lot of life, which is nice, but yeah, we didn't get to resolve 4-cost Burgess. I get the Wolf, which, I mean, it doesn't really do anything because I wouldn't die here anyways. Like this one I redirect, the 8 I could have countered. Now I kind of have to go for game anyways. I had like the idea maybe I can use Black Hole for redirect and then play Shiryu out and survive, but there's no way I survive the spot, I think. Especially because like my Teach is not a blocker against this Kuzan. I got 12. My opponent counters this one. He'd be stupid because like Black Hole I can only do 11. I mean, this deck is quite bricky, so maybe 11 connects, but we were quite in a bad position. But it ended up working out. Like, the deck is quite bricky, of course. All the Admirals are bricks. This Law Beppo is a brick. Yeah, I mean, Lightning Dragon is a brick. I don't know what else my opponent is playing, but there might be more bricks. So yeah, 11 connects. And I'm not sure what I think of this version of the deck. Because, like, we do have Burgess. We have 5-cost Kuzan in our deck. And the only card that really did something here was the Black Hole. Because Kuzan... Like, Kuzan is a weird card because I don't see when you would want to play it out. 5-cost. Because on 6, obviously, the Shiryu is better. Of course, on exactly 5 not going first. Kuzan is quite nice. But yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what this deck evolves to when we get all the final spoilers. Not exactly an OP16 leader, but since it's on the release of OP16, it's kind of an OP16 leader. Luffy and Ace. Interesting deck. Plays only 6k bodies and has a 6k leader. We do have Stage, which is nice. We have 10 cost, which is okay. We have a Burgess. We have 2 Burgess actually. 4-cost Burgess would be nice too. And we have, of course, play out Stage. You don't need double Burgess in hand, so we get rid of one. Take the 2k. We don't need a 10 cost in hand right now. Play out the 2k. Yeah, these cards aren't necessarily the nicest for lead ability, because it's like, sure, I can redirect like a big swing into the Doku, so I get to like counter one of the bigger swings for like one card. But like Doku ability is not necessarily too insane. And then here it's like difficult. Do I take it or do I just cycle my card away? It's kind of like I just had to 2k my swing. I got to cycle an extra card. Because if I had just 2k'd the swing, then I would have been on the same amount of cards. Like staying healthy here with this build is probably ideal because I don't have as much access to heal like I do have in the other one. And my Thinker's Teach gets easily rested by the Focus Luffy, so I can't really rely on that. So I think 2K'ing is good. I think you could possibly also just play this deck in a way where you just take all life, heal a bit, and then just beat perma 7k leader with Thamkron Wolf. But we'll see. We'll see. Opponent has a chopper on board, so you could assume my opponent plays the Animal Engine. Opponent plays the Luffy, which can get rush by like tapping the extra Don, so it could be 6-6. So I take the first one. Then here I decide if I could keep it and not trigger it, because then I could play it. But my opponent is a 6k leader, so if I play Shiryu, I can actually swing. My opponent chooses to not attack with the Luffy, because he doesn't want to pay the Don for it. But like I triggered away the Shiryu, because then now I can play the Black Hole on the Luffy to kill it and then go 6-6. Could also search. I think I like 6-6 more. Still search next turn. I use stage here. Take the Van Augur, good card. There might be like an argument to go 6 and Augur here, but like 6-6 just feels very nice. So I'll do that instead. And I have like a lead ability target on board. Like if I want to, I can just pop my Burgess and burn alive. And yeah, we see opponent is actually on the Animal Engine, which I guess makes sense. It's a red-green leader with like some aggro tools in it. And there's like a lot of good animals. Like the human drill that's on board right now, it rests a 4 cost when it swings. Like it rests a 4 cost when it like gets rested, but that like swinging counts as getting rested. Laboon is of course an animal. This Chopper is an animal. Lots of good cards. So maybe there's a way you can play animal in this. Could go 5-5-6 here. Could also go 5-6-6 by using the ability of Luffy to give it rush. Not sure if you have to do it on play, so maybe I actually would have known already. Yeah, it's on play. So actually, he did already use it. I just didn't pay attention. So I could have also known last turn that my opponent isn't going to swing with Luffy, because he didn't use the on play. Yeah, again, there's no 1 cost on my board. I still cycle away the card. I have double 2k in hand already. I have stage, so I'll probably find more 2ks. And now I get to take a 2k. So now I have 3 2ks in my hand. I get to swing at the human drill. My opponent has a Don up, so possibly has another event. I decide to go for Kuzan first. I'm looking for Burgess. I don't draw into anything like useful, because I could go 6 at human drill and 6 at leader. I do find like search event now, so I could go 5 and 5, or like if he like lets the 5 and 4 go, I could do 6 leader. I was mainly looking for like a 1 cost here, because I have something to swing at, so I don't necessarily need to attach Don. But yeah, opponent lets the 5 go, so I get to swing 6 at lead. So it just kind of worked out. We have 4 2ks in hand and a 10 drop. And like a pretty big Burgess on board. Opponent gets to rest the Burgess with Nami. It kind of feels weird seeing the opponent use on plays when you play Teach. Just, it kind of feels like this shouldn't work. Like, why the fuck does this Nami work? Why can't I just pitch a card and then the Nami doesn't work? But yeah, gets to freeze my board. A frozen Burgess like doesn't really do a lot, so I can just redirect into it. Like it's 7 and 7, or 7 and 5 and 6. So, and just you redirect this one. If my opponent wants to go 6, I can counter now. Opponent decides to go 7 again. But yeah, now my opponent doesn't really have a threatening board. The Luffy I can stun. Now I'm using a real character. This Chopper was a spectator for the entire game so far. We'll see if it becomes active at some point. We do kind of like a turn skip here, because like I stun leader, stun Luffy, use stage, and then it's kind of my turn. Take Shiryu, good heal card, good leader ability target. We'll see what we get to use it for. More stun would be annoying, because like I kind of want to go for game at some point. But yeah, my opponent still has double block on board and now put something on the board and has 2 life, so game will go on for quite some time now. But almost no cards, so we should get there. Opponent goes 13, which is not good for them. Like a 7-cost Zoro would have been nice, buff leader up. This one, of course, I can just block 2k. I don't have another 10 cost, I could look for one. We bottomed a few, we're not quite there yet. Even though we did have stage quite early. I just swing my Teach. I can't really die because my opponent doesn't really have board. And of course the Luffy rests it anyways. So I'll go Shiryu, discard a card. Put Wolf into life, I think. Yeah, so I can become 7k leader. Play another Burgess out and pass. And now I have 7k leader and only 2k snans. If my opponent wants to go for game, then that will not be possible. Yeah, opponent goes 7. Random thought, but I'm curious to see if OP16 has some Enel support. Because that deck is already very strong. Going to be interesting to see how the OP16 leaders do into Enel. And then maybe it actually gets some support. We draw a brick. That's not a trigger. We can't use it for leadability, unfortunately. Plus 8, which I have the 2k for. Swings 9, which I can take. Because with my opponent, like with the 3 Don, could freeze my Burgess. But I think I can still win. It's not math then, but I could still win. Like if I find a black hole, then it would be math, I think. My opponent plays another blocker, then it is math. Yeah, now it is math. Because I can just do 8, 10, 12, 12, 12. Yeah, it was also math if my opponent throws the Burgess, of course, because it's 1 less swing, but also 1 less blocker. So that would be the same thing. Or would it? My opponent had 1 blocker, and for like 4 cards in hand, I go 8, opponent gets 2, and I go 10, 12, 12. Yeah, it would just be the same thing. It was math either way. I clicked the wrong body. I only need to do 8. Because 8 is 2 cards. If he gives me 2 cards, I'll do 10. Opponent has to take or block. Ideally take. Gives me 2k, 2k. Yeah, 10 is guaranteed, only 2 in hand, no don, no nothing. If opponent takes, I go 12, 12, 12. Opponent has to block, block, and then opponent dies. Don't swing 11 by mistake. Catch it on. Yeah, I don't know if animal is the way. But yeah, I mean it's public lobbies. People are trying out stuff. Probably just better to run the entire 6k power. 5 cost 6k or like 4 cost 6k, whatever all the cards are. Just 6k power cards instead of the animals. Because the animals also kind of make it so that your leader sucks. Because you have a 6k leader and rested 5k bodies. So it's like you're giving your opponent like a way to find ways to attack you. Even though otherwise you couldn't. Because like the 4 cost 6k is a 9k. So I have to hit into the 6k leader instead. And yeah, if there's an animal on board, of course I can just swing into the animal instead.